Michelle Hagerty is the senior grower at Longwood Gardens, working in floriculture production within science. After earning her bachelor's in floriculture and nursery management from Delaware Valley University in 2014, Michelle worked at Dan Shant's Farm and Greenhouses as a section grower. In 2017, she joined the Longwood team, working on growing baskets, standards, which are simply plants that look like trees but aren't trees. We have a lot of them out there, as well as container crops. She has since specialized and is focused on developing and growing the incredibly iconic Longwood hanging baskets. While all of her baskets spark personal joy, she enjoys growing new cultivars, and she has a special knack for growing Christmas cactus. She is also our newest social media star, so be sure to check out our new basket reels on Instagram and Facebook. In her free time, she loves being with her toddler and husband, going on adventures outside. She is an avid fan of fountain pens and brings a unique and organized flair to all that she does. Please give a warm welcome to my colleague and friend, Michelle Hagerty, senior grower.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Today, we are going to talk about creating our iconic hanging baskets here at Longwood Gardens. You may be asking, what makes the hanging baskets at Longwood Gardens so unique? Today, we are going to talk about all aspects of the hanging basket program. But what I feel makes what we do here so amazing is that we have been growing, displaying, and innovating hanging baskets for over 100 years. We have specialized growing facilities, we trial different techniques and plants before they go into the gardens, and we collaborate across departments to create amazing displays for every guest to enjoy. Today, we are going to do an overview of the history of hanging baskets here at Longwood Gardens, the design process through to the delivery process, the different growing facilities that we utilize, collaborations we've had with the tradespeople at Longwood Gardens, and finally, the different types of hanging baskets that we display and how they are created. Longwood Gardens has always gone above and beyond horticulturally, and the hanging baskets are no exception. Longwood has a rich history displaying hanging baskets that can be dated back to the early 1920s. This is a really inspiring photo taken from the Old West Conservatory, viewing a hanging basket over the historic potting shed doors. For reference, this photo was from the DuPont era, before Longwood became a public garden. While the gardeners and growers have always created different types of baskets, it seems they have focused on our specialty chrysanthemum baskets from the 1920s to the 1950s. The chrysanthemum baskets are something that we still grow and innovate today. Post the 1950s, we find more variations of hanging baskets appearing, and they will continue to diversify for years to come. However, some still remain the same. The photo on the right shows an Ascananthus basket, which is a plant that our gardeners still choose to display in hanging baskets. Here is a copy of an old display sign that Longwood Garden once had the sign posted in the conservatory. This interpretive sign helps guests understand how our hanging baskets are assembled. While some of the assembly process has evolved over the years, the concept being illustrated here is still used today. Designing, planning, delivering, and installing hanging baskets is something that takes employees across multiple departments. Now we will go over the planning and scheduling process, delivering and installing hanging baskets, as well as some really exciting statistics. Today, we are going to use the example of the Streptocarpella Concord Blue hanging basket to demonstrate the careful planning and execution of these iconic baskets. This specific crop takes the production team 10 months to grow from start to finish. However, it needs to be planned for well in advance. We will start with the early fall planning. In early fall, the designers and gardeners will meet to finalize their ideas and submit their crop requests to the floriculture production team. At this point, the production coordinator will add it to the schedule and plan for space accordingly, so that the growing team can proceed with the crop. This photo really captures a great behind-the-scenes moment. We can see in the background multiple variations of the conservatory plans for various times of the year. These plans take the designers months to develop before any action can be taken. Speaking of planning, sometimes a good idea will come up, but we aren't sure if it's going to be possible, or we may not know which cultivar of the plant will be best for our purposes. That's where planning comes in. This picture shows a trial of a scavola basket. For this specific trial, we are searching for the best cultivar to be used in a hanging basket. Fast forward to early March. In early March, our propagator will take cuttings from mature plants. Each streptocarpella basket requires 18 cuttings to create these iconic baskets. These cuttings will take about 4 weeks to grow enough roots for the next step. Now we look at early April. After the cuttings have rooted, the growers will pot the plants into 4-inch pots to grow and establish before we assemble them into baskets. This gives each plant more time to mature before it goes into its final growing container. In mid-June, after the 4-inch pots have established, the growers will then decide to assemble the iconic hanging baskets. The assembly process for all of the baskets that we use can take anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how many baskets the gardeners have requested that year. Each of these hanging baskets can take anywhere from 1 to 1.5 hours to assemble, depending on experience level. This is a process that we will go more in depth on later in this talk. From mid-June to mid-January, the growers work hard maintaining each and every one of these hanging baskets. They groom the plants for hours until they are perfectly ready to be handed over to the conservatory staff. In mid-June, the gardeners will coordinate with the production team and install the baskets for display for every guest to enjoy. Delivering hanging baskets is something that also takes careful planning. The production team will load the hanging baskets onto carts the day before delivery. They will then load the basket carts up onto the box truck first thing the next morning and carefully drive them over to the conservatory. While the growers are preparing for delivery, the gardeners are getting their lifts and pulleys set up. The gardeners will then hoist the hanging baskets up into their hanging location with the pulley system. Here at Longwood Gardens, we secure each hanging basket with 2 points of attachment for added safety. Now let's talk some statistics. Our current conservatory space can allow for up to 98 baskets to be displayed at any point in time. This is a really impressive number, one that you may not experience at any other public garden. Some of the baskets are more permanent, while others are changed out seasonally. In the new West Conservatory, we will be able to display up to 168 hanging baskets. That gives us a total of 266 potential hanging baskets for guests to enjoy. Now, if you weren't excited for the 98 hanging baskets you can experience today, I hope you're getting excited for the 266 hanging baskets you can see once our new West Conservatory is open. The incredible hanging basket displays that the designers and gardeners dream up wouldn't be possible without our growing facilities. Next, we will go over the 2 growing locations that we have at Longwood Gardens, the lower production facility and the nursery greenhouse production facility. Our lower production facility allows us to grow Longwood's largest and heaviest hanging baskets. In this location, we grow in basket carts, which have been fabricated in-house by our metal shop. In this location, we can also grow upwards of 48 hanging baskets in our largest 24-inch size basket frames. We also utilize this facility to assemble our Insta Baskets. These baskets are assembled with mature plants and sent right to display. The geographical location of lower production makes it ideal for this style of hanging basket. Across Route 1 at the nursery production greenhouse, we are able to grow our smaller, lighter hanging baskets. In this facility, 2 of our greenhouse zones are reserved for growing hanging baskets. Each of these zones houses a custom hanging basket conveyor system. Each system can house up to 68 baskets, and each basket can weigh up to 70 pounds. We can compare the total weight capacity of each basket system to that of a white rhino. The basket systems also have a watering feature. This allows us to water each basket for up to 9 seconds as it rotates through the watering zone. The hanging basket systems also have a section in front of the greenhouse that allows a small portion to flex and lower. This allows our growers easier access to the crops. In this section, we are able to load, unload, and maintain every basket. This photo shows one of our assistants working on the streptocarpella baskets. We pinch and remove flowers regularly to encourage vegetative growth. Because everything at Longwood Gardens is so unique, we lean on our tradespeople for assistance, creating specialty items. Without their help and expertise, Longwood Gardens would not operate as smoothly as it does. So special thank you to them for everything that they do. When it comes to hanging baskets, we mainly collaborate with the metal shop and the carpenters. The photo on the left shows our custom-made basket frames, hangers, and stands. We also needed a way to grow larger baskets and deliver all hanging baskets, so they came up with the idea of a basket cart. Each cart is fitted with a steel bar across the top, along with a chain and hanging clip. Sometimes delivering hanging baskets to the gardens can be challenging, and that's where the carpenters came in. They assisted the growing team and came up with a custom wooden block system to allow us to space our baskets in the box truck and prevent plant damage while securing them with no wiggle room. Now the moment you've been anticipating. We will talk about the different types of hanging baskets and how they are created. Here at Longwood Gardens, we group the baskets into 3 different types: our Crysanthemum baskets, our Insta Baskets, and our traditional iconic hanging basket. First, we will take a look at the Crysanthemum baskets. Our specialty growers create these amazing baskets out of cuttings that are taken and rooted in mid-October. Fast forward to mid-January, the plants are then assembled into 18-inch hanging basket frames. Here at Longwood, we put 18 plants in each Crysanthemum basket. The plants are then tied up a bamboo stake until the beginning of May, at which point the branches are twisted and bent down, and we start to form our round shape. The plants are then pinched and tied down to a wire frame 3 to 4 times throughout the spring and summer. This image shows how the mums look after they are pinched and tied down. By early August, the plants have filled in and the growers stop pinching to allow the plants to produce flowers for our October displays. Now we can see the final product. Next, we will talk about our Insta Baskets. These baskets are typically tropical in nature. The reason we call them Insta is because we take mature plants, we assemble them into baskets, and put them right on display in our gardens. Here we can see some Guzmania in our acacia passage. Beautiful white Phalaenopsis over the center walk in the main conservatory. Very impressive giant Anthurium basket near the north door. Some more Phalaenopsis in a different location. Now I'll show you some images of the assembly process for an Insta basket, specifically a Phalaenopsis basket. From start to finish, it can take a team of 2 people 3 to 4 hours to assemble each basket. We always start with an empty basket frame. We then add a layer of moistened sphagnum moss to the bottom of the frame. We then push the root ball backwards through the frame. We do this multiple times, evenly distributing plant material around the layers. Once the plants have been placed, we fill in the spaces between the plants with more sphagnum moss. We also recycle packing peanuts to assist in basket assembling. Sometimes it is necessary to reduce weight, and baggies of packing peanuts have been the perfect solution. We place multiple small baggies in each basket to take up space in the core of the Insta Basket. Here you can see some more of the assembly process. With the Phalaenopsis, we often need to stand on ladders or stools to access the top layers and avoid damaging the plants. To create the iconic round shape, we sometimes use metal wire to secure plants into place. This photo shows a fully assembled Insta Basket. However, with the Phalaenopsis baskets, there is one more step to take in order to complete the process. Each and every flower stem needs to be restaked and placed into a higher position. This is to help defy gravity and ensure the baskets keep their perfectly round shape throughout their time on display. We then retie the flowers to the stake. After every flower spike is repositioned, staked, and tied, the basket is finally complete and ready to hang in the gardens. Our final type of hanging basket is the iconic Longwood hanging basket. This style of basket is the most utilized style at Longwood Gardens. We've been utilizing this technique for over 100 years. We will take a look at some beautiful, iconic baskets from over the years, and then do an overview of the assembly process. This photo shows multiple types of baskets. There's some white chrysanthemum baskets in the background, as well as some beautiful bronze coleus baskets in the front. Some of our Christmas cactus, perfectly timed for Christmas time. Agatha baskets, displayed in multiple ways, some hanging and some elevated on stands in the flower beds. Impressive pink and white striped hydrangea baskets. Cymbidium baskets. Begonia baskets, displayed alongside the giant Dracaena baskets. Finally, we will take a look at the step-by-step process of assembling an iconic hanging basket. We always start with a stainless steel basket frame. We often assemble these baskets on our custom hanging basket stands. We then add a layer of moistened sphagnum moss to the bottom of the basket frame. Each plant is wrapped with a piece of plastic. This allows us to feed the plant through the slots of the basket frame while protecting the plant material at the same time. Then we feed the plant through the frame. Next, we take the sphagnum moss and create a thin layer around the perimeter of the frame. This helps line the basket and hold the soil in for the plants to grow into. This mossing technique is very similar to that of a prefabricated basket liner. I like to think of it as we are creating our own custom liners as we assemble each basket. After each layer is mossed, we then fill in with soil. We then continue the same process on the next layer, and then add more soil. We then attach the hanger before moving on to the next step. To create the iconic round shape, we then mold the top. This is done with a combination of plants, soil, and a thin layer of moss. We also assembled baskets with an empty pot in the center of the top. This acts as a watering reservoir. It allows us to have uniform and effective watering. Once the top plants are placed, soil is used to mold the shape, and the moss is placed and pinned. The assembly process is complete. For our iconic hanging baskets, almost all of them require maintenance. For the streptocarpella that you see here, they require pruning and flower removing. For our next slide, we will watch a time-lapse video of an iconic hanging basket being assembled.